My little Tonga moko, he goes, oh, we had this man in today, Pep. He showed us the thing called Google search. So I put your name in, Pep. And I was like, oh. And he looked at me and he went, oh my gosh, Pep, you're like a real gangster. And I went, no. I was made a state ward because of the amount of times I was running away from home. There was a lot of discipline at home. A juvenile team, which consisted of social workers, youth workers, police, kept taking me back home. Once they left me at home, and I'd get into hiding, and a couple of days later I would run away again. And then they took me to court and made me a state ward. One of the things you quickly grow into in that world is you start to hate authority. What they stand for, what they symbolise, social workers, housemasters, screws, so that transfer over to the cops as well. That now becomes part of that environment. The King Cobras was my life, really. They gave me that sense of belonging. It was good being Samoan amongst them. When me and the club parted ways, I just carried on in that world of crime and underworld, criminal stuff, because really, there's nothing else I knew. P was pretty bad for me, and I was arrested and charged with meth, and the judge said, with your fella's encyclopedia of crimes, you should get more, but I cannot give you more than what the law allows me. Our charges, our operation, changed the classification of methamphetamine from Class B to Class A. All that does in my head is that, so next time we'll make sure we don't get caught. There's no talk of, man, I'm going to change when I get out. It gets down to a point where you're about to lose things, and in particular your partner, who's standing by your side all that time.
Not everyone makes it out.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You did it, hun. With or without me.
I guess for me, that type of love, that's what you need to change. But the hardest part is once your mind has been transformed in it and changed, and now you're thinking differently, what does that mainstream world offer me? What can I do there? Again, your partner comes along and just do something with your education.
I met you after you had conquered the addiction.
Yep.
What it takes to get you here, it's astonishing that you even get into the lecture room. I mean, we have so few people who have been in state care, let alone those that have been in prison, come into the university.
Well, you told me that we haven't had a person with lived experience like you, so as much as possible we're going to try and keep you here if we can.
It's so much more than lived experience. It's the expertise, and that's why I nearly always talk about lived expertise. The idea that we talk about kids as offenders is a really anathema to me. We should never do things that narrow their life trajectories. Right. And really, a lot of the things that you were going, it channeled you. Yeah. It channeled you from here, from the boys' home, into the Borstals, into
because if you think about it, was inevitable that I was going to be in prison. You're at the boys' home, you're all 13, 14, a few years later you meet up again, you're in Waikeria. Oiraka boys' home was bad, especially at night when the night watchman came on. We always knew that night watchman will take one of the boys and abuse them. And we used to just bite our pillows and hoping it's not us. And sometimes I hear my mate going, and next day it was like we don't say anything, we don't talk, he's like he's just like mute, not saying anything during breakfast. Nobody speaks about it. I didn't feel any trauma, I didn't know what trauma was, so I only realised what trauma was really since I went straight.
I mean, I've just got so much pride in you and what you've achieved, and particularly when you gave evidence at the Royal Commission.
All my mates back then, I think to myself, a lot of them still in there.
Yeah.
If they still haven't dealt with all that, that's why I really was committed to this Royal Commission, because I wanted my mates to come forward. Yeah, just talk about it, bro. It's good. Some people say, if you go back, would you change anything? Maybe who I am today, really. I don't know if I want to change that. If I think back about all the things that happened to me there, it's given me the voice to talk about, transformation. Know that, it can be done. It enables me to talk from an experience that lots of people don't know about. It helped to inform policymakers trying to change the way they think. For me, family is vital. In particular, your partner. The transference of that love, that tautoko, that aroha, all that, you transfer that onto your children and your grandchildren, because now you know how to apply it in a meaningful way.